Hello, Facebook family. Good to see you jumping on this live webinar or call or whatever you want to call it. Today, I just wanted to touch base on something that might be really valuable for you right now. I know a few of my clients are kind of going through this at the moment, and so I wanted to share something that's been really helpful for a lot of our members inside our mentorship online recovery program. And I just wanted to share it with you because I know that a lot of you are at home and might be feeling overwhelmed, might be feeling stuck, might be feeling like, you know, it's everything's kind of all too much and it's just feeling super overwhelming right now. So I think, really what I'm going to teach you in the next kind of 10 minutes or so is something that's going to give you the tools to get unstuck quite quickly, to maybe have some awareness around where you're stuck, and then also to basically create some actions that will create a better result for you. And sometimes we just need these reminders to really help us see where we're stuck and how we can kind of undo that. So I'm going to get straight into it. Give me one sec. I'm just going to share my screen with you. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. Should be a few comments somewhere. Hi. Now you should be able to see this little screen here. And one of the things that one of my clients asked the other night was, how do I deal with the overwhelm and the sudden onset of anxiety? And really what we're talking about here is overwhelm. And this is a person, as you can see in the middle here, and basically, as we can see here, that person here, I didn't put a smile or a frown or anything like that. It's just a person in a neutral position, yeah? And basically what happens is, let's just say above here is where we feel or all of a sudden get a thought, feeling, it could be someone else who triggers us, but basically we get a thought or a feeling that comes into us, and there's two ways we can go about it, yeah? So basically we can go either, I can't do this, I'm not going to be able to do this, it won't happen, it's not going to work out, and basically we create a narrative. And with that narrative, can everyone see this okay? Just comment yes if you can see this okay. Yeah, where are we here? Who have we got here on this call? Yeah, you can see me and hear me okay. Hello. Yes, beautiful. Thanks, Elise, for letting me know. So, as you can see, this is just a narrative, but what happens is it happens really quickly. Yeah? Thanks, Maggie, for letting me know. And it happens really quickly. And what happens is with this narrative, we get into, oh my God, I can't do that. Or, hey, Ruby, it's too much. I'm not enough. That seems to be a really common one at the moment that a lot of people are going through. I'm not enough. It's not going to work out. It won't happen this way. Or basically, we're kind of either thinking badly about the past or we're thinking negatively about the future. And that's kind of why I put it going backwards, yeah? Because even if we're moving forwards into the future, but we're thinking, I can't, I'm not, it won't, basically what happens is this leads to a feeling of sadness, anger, frustration, sabotage, and just overall not feeling good, okay? Hands up if you've ever been through that. You might be going through that at the moment as well. I think in these times it's really easy to get wound up with everything outside of us externally, which can really have an impact on us internally. Yeah. But there is another way of doing this. And so as you see here on the other side, what I've written here is there's a different type of narrative. Yeah. And this one is a little bit more useful. I'll just move my camera over here so you can see. Cool. Hey, Linda. So as you can see, this side is a little bit more useful. Now, this isn't positive psychology. This isn't just like thinking yourself well or thinking that everything's great and hunky-dory. But it can help neutralize things. And I'm going to show you in a second exactly on a graph how it works practically on a day-to-day basis. But as you can see, let's say a thought comes in like I've got X, Y, Z to do today. And all of a sudden, rather than saying I can't, I'm not good enough, it's not going to happen, it won't, to maybe I can. Maybe I am okay. Maybe it will work. And really, it's actually the same thing here in terms of narrative, yeah? But we're just using it in a more useful way, right? And when we do that, what happens is I can do this, I am able to do some things, maybe not everything, but maybe it's useful or more useful to be like, I can do some things or some of the things that I'm being asked of right now, or I can do some of the things that I want to do. I might not be able to do them all, but I might be able to do a little bit of them. Does that make sense, guys? What happens here is we get an effect of an upward spiral. So rather than kind of, going down the I can't, I'm not good enough, it won't work, we kind of go through that downward spiral. Instead, we have a upward spiral where it just looks more like that. Yeah, I know my handwriting and my drawings are a little bit messy, but this is a really practical, simple way in how to change this. So if you're ever stuck in here, you have two trains of thoughts to go down. Now, of course, it's so normal and so human to go down the narrative, I can't, I'm not good enough, it's not going to work, it won't work, it never works for me, all these kinds of narratives. And that's fine, it's totally okay to go there. But hopefully this video will help you identify that maybe that's not the most useful thing to do in the moment, and maybe it might be better to switch over to the other side. Now the other side, again, it might not feel super great, and like I said, I'm not trying to get you to go from a 0 to a 10 overnight. What I'm saying is if you can do this, even just a little bit, it might just help ease that extra suffering that you may be placing upon yourself right now. Just type in the comments section, yes, if you can hear me, see me, and this is making sense. And feel free to add any kind of comments that you might be experiencing too. Maybe you have an experience that you can share with everyone who is watching this, who might be going through something similar. And this was really useful to share inside one of our coaching sessions last week, because what happened was when one of our members had the awareness of what was actually happening, she was like, oh wow, I can actually make a choice in this. Hey Kayla, good to see you on here. Yeah, so here, and this is the really cool part, was realizing there was a choice. You could choose that way or that way, yeah? And right now is the present moment, yeah? So present moment, we're here with the choice. We can choose whatever's going on in our lives right now, whatever's actually happening, choose the narrative, I can't, I'm not good enough, it won't. I'm sure you guys have some extra ones. Feel free to comment them in while you're watching. This might be really helpful. What are some narratives that your brain tends to go to when you start to think in a negative way? You might not even realize that it's happening. Feel free to add on to that list. And again, that's just a downward spiral of feeling, not feeling good. Generally, usually less energy because the energy gets taken up in the anxiety, which is exhausting in itself. And there's just nothing really that useful about it. Yeah. Kayla says, this helps me a lot when I'm in a big slump physically, realizing I can take back control of the mental aspects. Yes, exactly. Man, that is awesome. Really cool. And so, like I said before, when we're in the present moment, which is now, we're presented with an opportunity to either go down with the narrative of I can't, I'm not good enough, it won't, and have that spiral narrative that doesn't really serve us and isn't that useful. The only useful part about it is the awareness it gives us to realize we're doing something that we don't really want to do, or we're feeling a certain way that we may not want to feel, which we can choose a choice differently, or an action or a behavior that is different and more proactive in this current situation to maybe help you feel a little bit better. And like I said before, it's not about, all right, I'm going to go and run a marathon, or I'm just going to pretend I'm not feeling good. It's like, no, but with the current situation and circumstances that I'm feeling, what can I do? What can I do? What am I capable of? And maybe it will get better. A perfect example for some of you that you might experience this is you might wake up feeling dreadful. You might have really lots of symptoms. You might have just one of those days where you wake up and you just think that the day's wasted already. There's nothing I can do. I'm not feeling good. And what happens is, if you allow it and you see this for what it is, and you're watching this presentation right now and you see on the picture right here, you switch over to useful, and maybe the day will get better eventually without you even doing anything. Maybe your energy levels will pick up over the day and the day doesn't have to be a complete write-off. I'm sure you may have experienced that before in your life, and so this is why I'm presenting this to you right now as a reminder that there is a choice in here, and the choice is going to take you either one way or the other, and the choice is yours. Now, am I saying that everything's a choice, and you can just choose whatever you want? No, but what I am saying, exactly what Kayla mentioned, is like taking back control of the mental aspects of the current situation, the present situation of what you're experiencing. Linda, let me see here, one second. What do we got here? Linda says, I've been very stuck in a negative place and I had no intentions of even trying today, but some weird little voice inside my head told me to get up and sit in the sun for a while, so I did that and also did my 10-minute exercises. So I seem to flip-flop between I can't do a damn thing to maybe I can do a little bit. This is what I'm talking about. That is brilliant. So, Linda is just given a perfect example, basically the example that I just talked about. And that actually happened today for you. And so that's really cool. And so the whole point of this is, the more we do that and the more we set ourselves up for these actions and behaviors to happen, the better results we're going to get. Does that make sense, guys? You who are watching, if it is, just hit the love button or the like button. Next, I'm going to show you practically what that looks like on a day-to-day basis and where it takes you. Yep, getting a few love buttons. Okay. Cool. Amazing. Good stuff. And yeah, thanks for joining us here, because I know right now it is a really tough time for a lot of you guys. So I just wanted to jump on and shoot this for you. So we understand that, yeah? Hopefully you can take a quick screenshot if you're on your phone. That will be useful. Second thing we're going to do, we're going to scroll down here with my new fancy iPad, and I want to show you something on a practical level, exactly what Linda spoke about. So because Linda's given a great example, I want to work with that one. Yeah. So here's Linda. All right. Let's just choose the color pink because that's going to be her favorite color today. And Linda basically is right there. Yeah. Today. And hold on, let me just change the dots. Yep. So that's Linda. This is where she's at today. She wakes up, she's feeling tired. She said she's been in a negative place. She had no intentions of even trying today, right? And so initially, what happened was she started here, and then she kind of had the thought, and with no intention of not even trying today. Today was a shitty day. Nothing was going to get done. And basically, that started leading her down a path energetically of feeling pretty crap, pretty useless, pretty worthless. And then the narrative can just get worse and worse and worse. But she stopped it right here. And she said, you know what? Whether it was this little voice in her head, or maybe she saw some inspiration, or maybe for someone who's watching this right now, this is going to be the turning point for you to switch this around for you in this moment today. And Linda went, you know what? I think I just need to sit out in the sun. And all of a sudden, Linda started going above the line. Yeah? So today and every other day starts neutrally. There's no wrong or right. It's not like, it's not like I have to feel this way every day. It's just like, it is what it is, yeah? We wake up, it is what it is. But then there comes the narrative, oh, I'm not going to do it today, I'm feeling crap, there's nothing I can do, the world sucks, the world's got it against me, yada, yada, yada. Basically, we fall into that narrative, yeah? And this is below the line, basically what we don't really want to experience too much of. But in saying that, as a reminder, sometimes we need to experience below the line to get us back up above the line. Yeah. So it's actually not a bad thing. It just is. But we want to use it to our advantage. Yeah. So above the line, she starts coming back up. I'm going to sit outside in the sun for 10 minutes. And then she says, all of a sudden, I sat outside in the sun, and then I felt like doing my 10 minutes of exercises. Yeah. And hopefully they're ones that work for her, which sounds like they are because she did them. And all of a sudden, Linda's just turned it around within probably the space of 1 hour, which is pretty cool. And there's no pressure there on the time it takes you to turn it around, but this is a perfect example of the change. Now, let's just see here, right? Now, because she's done that, she's probably more likely to eat a little bit healthier, probably hydrate. Maybe because she's done her exercise, she's going to rest and slowly do all the right things that she knows works for her. Linda just wrote in, they are your exercises, Toby. Oh, brilliant. You're doing our exercise program. That's cool. And just to be clear, I kind of like the word movement over exercise because I know everyone who thinks about exercise thinks, oh my God, I've got to push myself. No, as Linda has kind of written here, it's not about pushing yourself. It's really about just doing what works for you. But nonetheless, Linda's gone from, a pretty just normal standard day to then, as you can see, she's really turned it around. Yeah? Now, what would have happened, this is the fun part, what would have happened if Linda didn't recover from that initial narrative and didn't listen to that little voice that said, maybe you should go outside? And it would have looked much more like that, yeah? Start of the day and then go down. And basically this low level here is just, feelings of unworthiness, not useful, no progress, and it just doesn't feel that good. Yeah, does that make sense? On the other hand, Linda's literally turned her day around, and because she starts to think I can, which she is. I am, because she is doing it, yeah? And then she starts to actually see, in the future, a more positive tense. She starts to think, well, if I just did it then and I'm feeling pretty good and I'm glad I did it, what will tomorrow bring? And I'll even go one step further than that. What will I bring to tomorrow? Excuse my terrible handwriting, but you get the point. Now, what's happened is Linda has literally, just going to flip it here for 1 second. Linda has gone from I can't, it's not possible, it sucks, to I can, I am, and now, because she's done all that, the actual physical behaviors and benefit from that, now she's starting to actually think, oh, well, that was good. Maybe I'll do the same thing tomorrow, or maybe I'll take it easy and look after myself. But the whole point of that is that there's a positive spin on it. There is a progressive outlook towards her future, versus if she did nothing today. That spiral could have lasted a couple of days, or sometimes even weeks. You know, if you just get into that slump and you're just like, nothing's really working, you don't really feel that good, it's not really being that useful for you, and you get stuck in that slump. But, you know, this is a perfect example of how someone turned around. So, Linda, thank you for joining. This is just such a perfect example for everybody. So I really appreciate that. Guys, does that make sense? Just comment yes. Hi to all the new people watching as well. Does that make sense, guys? Yep. Hit the thumbs up button or the love button just so I can see. Or comment. Say hello. Let us know if this has been useful for you. When we're going to finish up with just a recap of everything, which will help you get really clear on basically how to change this quite quickly. And like I said before, Linda's just given a perfect example of this. So, okay. And here we go. Can everyone see that? We've got choices, actions, behavior equals result. Now, yeah, cool. Liz DeWild says, what will I bring tomorrow? Love that. A much better mindset than thinking I've got to do this and that. Yes. What will I bring to tomorrow? And what will I bring for myself? Not like, what do I have to do tomorrow and how do, I've got to achieve X, Y, Z. It's like, no, what can I bring tomorrow for myself first? And sometimes that might mean relaxing and resting. Sometimes that might mean doing something for yourself. That might mean doing something challenging for yourself because you're ready for that. Obviously, it depends, and the whole point is to tune into yourself and know that. So to finish off with, guys, what we've got here is choices lead to actions, actions lead to the behaviors, behaviors lead to results. Now, a perfect example, thanks to Linda, is she went through that cycle, and the result was a much better outlook on the day. The result was she did something proactive for herself and her recovery today and her body and her well-being and health. And that makes her proud and makes me proud of her because there's a smiley face at the end of it, right? And of course, it could have gone the other way too. It could have been choices, well, I can't do this and I can't do that and there's nothing I can do, narrative, into the actions. If you think you can't do anything and there's nothing you can do, then there's probably nothing you're going to do, right? It just leads you down that track. The behavior is I'm going to lay in my bed all day, or I'm not going to do anything that's going to be useful for me, even if I have to lay in bed all day. And so I have compassion for anyone who's going through a really hard time right now. And by the way, a choice might mean resting more. An action might mean resting more. It might mean doing less. The behavior would be, doing less, not doing as much, being mindful of your time and your energy that you put out. And so it's not always about doing stuff. It might be about subtracting things out of your daily life that you need to do to restore and replenish your energy levels right now. So, obviously there's a lot in here, and, for the guys who are in the program, there's like 25 hours worth of coaching videos just in the program. So, unfortunately I can't do Facebook Lives all day, and we'll be here for hours answering questions and kind of teaching you the in-depth. But, hopefully this is just a really good, simple overview for you to give you the reminder to make those changes, whether they're less or more. And just being mindful of that and in tune with that on a daily basis might be really, really useful for you right now. So if you liked this video, please let me know in the comments section if it was helpful. What was your biggest takeaway? I know Liz said, what will I bring tomorrow was her biggest takeaway. But maybe you've got one that you want to share that other people who will watch this or who are watching this right now will benefit from too. But I hope you really helped it. I hope you really liked it. I hope it helped you a lot. And we'll see you in the next video. We've got Kayla says, thanks Toby, great way to start my day with this video. Brilliant. Yes, sometimes we just need that reminder. And obviously you're in the program anyway, so you've got plenty of reminders in there, which is good. You're in such a good environment, a good group of people. So yeah, this is just a little bonus on the top. Thanks heaps for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.